Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mike here from the Mind of Mike channel. Today we're going to be talking about a very special upcoming game that I'm pretty excited about. Now for those of you who watch my channel, you probably know that I am playing Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor right now. I have finished the main game and I am on to the DLC. But there is going to be a sequel to that game and it's going to be coming out in August. It is called the Shadow of War. Now before we get into the sequel, let's talk about the original game a little bit first. When the Shadow of Mordor came out, it was a little bit controversial for a few reasons. One of the reasons was that their marketing techniques were a little bit underhanded. They were paying some reviewers and YouTubers under the table to write only positive things about the game, which is a little bit weird because it's actually a really good game. And I don't know why they felt like they had to resort to doing that. But it did make quite a few people angry and they probably lost sales because of that. They got a lot of bad press. And it's sort of too bad because, like I said, it is a really good game. And it's good for quite a few reasons. One, it's very well optimized. It's a beautiful game, but it runs super smooth. And that is quite uncommon these days. A lot of games come out and they're just crap. They're horribly optimized. The performance is terrible and it requires a few months worth of patches to fix everything. But Shadow of Mordor was great right out of the gate. Not only that, but the DLCs seem to be really good so far as well. I haven't finished playing them all, but man, I mean, it's generally really good. The second reason why it was very controversial is the story itself. They changed some of the lore quite significantly from Tolkien's original stories, and that pissed a lot of people off, honestly, especially the lore freaks. People got quite angry about that, and it's understandable, but I see it from both sides. You know, I gotta play devil's advocate on this one and say that there are only so many times you can tell the same story over and over before it gets boring. You know, there have been countless games for Lord of the Rings, there have been movies, and to be honest, I can see from the developer standpoint that they wanted to tell a new story. They wanted to bring the lore into it, but they couldn't really fit it in. And I don't necessarily agree with the way they changed things, but I do understand why they did it. And I think they told a good story. It's not quite up to Tolkien's standards, but it is a good story. And if you take the game at face value, in that it's something fun to do, it's in the world of Middle-earth, it generally adheres to the lore. I mean, the same monsters in the same world, and there definitely are some discrepancies, but I'm willing to overlook them. First of all, because I'm not a lore freak, and second of all, because I think the game is enjoyable, and because I still learned a lot more about Middle-earth by playing the game. It also introduces the world of Middle-earth to people who might not necessarily know much about it. They might have watched the movies, and again, the movies are not, you know, they don't teach you a ton about the lore either. So for me, if you went out and played Shadow of Mordor, and then you decided, man, I love this idea of Middle-earth, I want to go and buy the books, that is the end result that I would be looking for. More people that go out and read the books, to become fans of Middle-earth in general, and to keep these kind of games coming, to keep Middle-earth content being released. Because if it just goes away and disappears, no one's going to be interested in it. And I feel that the more people like it, the better for the community in general of Tolkien's fans. And I think that's a very important thing. Now, on to the second game. There's definitely been some controversy attached to the second game already, and it's not even out. This is just the trailer. So we're going to take a look at the trailer here. I'm going to watch it while I'm commentating, and we're going to pause a few times as we go through and just sort of, you know, I'm going to talk about certain things. So let's do this. It's watching time. Very excited.
The world of men is ending.
Well, apparently it is ending. Yes, definitely. Man, that looks so cool. All right, I'm going to pause it right here for 1 sec because people have been losing their crap about a black guy in the Gondorian army or in Lord of the Rings in general. Here's the thing for me. I don't understand. I understand what people are saying. They're like, it's the token black guy in there that's supposed to be politically correct and it doesn't exist in lore. To be honest, telling me something doesn't exist in lore is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It really is. I mean, this is Middle-earth. If we take our real Earth as a parallel, there are different races of all kinds of people in different areas. It doesn't, I mean, it may be the exception, but it's not impossible by any means. Just because it's not mentioned in lore, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And it almost certainly did happen. People in different areas that were born in different areas, or that were accepted, even if they're in the very, very minority. That's the stupidest thing. And I'm gonna use a real life example to sort of illustrate my point. As you guys know, I live in Taiwan. And when I arrived here, I was here for a couple of years. And one of my friends from Canada, one of my best friends, is a black guy. He was born and lived in Canada pretty much his whole life, and he decided to come over here, and I tried to help him get a job. So I call up some of my friends at another school and I said, look, one of my friends is coming over from Canada. You guys need a teacher. Why don't you meet with him and interview him and see if he's good for the job? And they said, sure, we'd be happy to. We love Canadians. And he went over for the interview. And when the interview was done, the boss called me and was like, what are you doing? Like, you told me he was Canadian. And I'm like, of course he's Canadian. And she's like, well, he's black. I'm like, and? What's your point? He was born and raised in Canada. Just because someone's black doesn't mean they're not Canadian. It was the stupidest and most ignorant argument I've heard almost in my life. And that to me illustrates just the ignorance of some people. I mean, I just don't understand that argument. And one of the greatest comments I saw below the YouTube video was someone saying, a black guy in Gondor is the least lore-breaking thing that happens in the Shadow of War. And I tend to agree with that. Everyone out there, just shut up. No one cares. Yes, it's very possible they were doing that to be politically correct, but who cares? Even if they were, that doesn't mean that it's something bad. I mean, you're trying to be inclusive, and I don't see anything wrong with that. And I think that, you know, in Middle-earth, if you're looking at a giant population of millions of people, you're gonna have these kind of minorities around. It's just a given. And anyone who doesn't think that is an idiot. Case closed. Let's continue. Another thing that is definitely not in lore is a new ring.
In the fires of Mount Doom.
Alright, we're gonna pause back here for a second because take a look at this. Can you see that right there in the corner on the left? That is most definitely Gollum right there. He is watching. Can you see that? And that was a really nice catch by my viewer, who is coincidentally also named Celebrimbor. And yeah, that's definitely going to be part of the story. Glad it was caught.
And a wraith, bound together in death, crafted the one thing that could challenge Sauron. A ring of power. But power can blind those who seek it.
Wait, did I lose him?
Celebrimbor!
The great deceiver has returned to Middle-earth.
That looks so crazy cool. Crazy!
All. The corruption will be contained.
It's
no
on.
longer.
It's full on. And we got a Balrog. Also probably not lore friendly, but holy crap, I'm excited to fight one of those.
War for Mordor begins.
So excited! And we have Fell Beast as well. Why is the ring on his index finger? That seems like it will be slightly awkward. Wow.
I'm coming for you.
Why do I look like Geralt from The Witcher right now? Middle-earth, Shadow of War. And the gameplay reveal, which is already out, and we're gonna watch it right now after this. So August 22nd, it's got a few more months to go. That's gonna be fun though. Waiting for it, seeing some new gameplay stuff. Anyway, we're on to the gameplay trailer. Let's check it out. Check out some of it anyway. It's quite long, so we're gonna just do a few minutes. Shadow of War. Alright, so you can see this is alpha gameplay here. Probably not the final version. Some of the textures don't look that great. But it is looking pretty good already. Look at the size of those cities.
Where we will show you one example of the epic personal stories created through the next generation of the revolutionary Nemesis System.
Alright, so the Nemesis System has been upgraded.
To save Middle-earth, We will be journeying deep behind enemy lines and using the new Ring of Power to forge an army and conquer Mordor.
So it seems
from
like
within.
there's a lot more
On
strategic
the world
elements
map,
actually
you'll
than the
see
first
many
game.
regions we can conquer. Every one of these regions is a distinct environment with unique enemies and allies, including overlords, war chiefs, captains, followers, fortresses, strongholds,
So it's
missions,
bigger and
more.
better.
Today, we're going to attack and conquer the mountain valley of Saragost and take it from Sauron's overlord, Ur-Hakon,
The Dragon Lord.
Let's launch the assault.
Alright, so we're going to take a quick look here and see how the actual gameplay looks. Look at the size of my army. That is pretty crazy. I have a feeling I'm going to have to upgrade my graphics card when this game comes out.
Nemesis System unique.
I'm still on a
It's
970.
also
I got to go
our
higher.
Ragdug the Iron Mount has armored cavalry that can charge through the flames of artillery fire. The Demolisher is a living battering ram with the power to smash
So as you can
enemy
see, there
defenses.
definitely is a lot more
With our
strategy that's
followers
going to
at
be
our
involved in
side,
taking
we
out these
must first
fortresses.
face the
You got to, oh
Stormbringer.
man, look at that.
Right, Lord. I fought for you, bled for you, and you left me to die. But I was reborn with the power of the Dark Lord.
He has a history and personal grudge against us. He used to be part of our army before he betrayed us and joined the Dark Lord. He also carries a dark curse, which prevents us from using the power
What?
of the new ring.
Cheesy.
Charge into the flames
Cheesy
of
plot point right
your
there.
reckoning. Ignite.
The Overlord has deployed multiple fort defenses, including siege beasts and flame archers.
All right, so this is not going to be able to be played probably sort of the lone hero kind of guy at all. This is definitely more strategy, army, large-scale battle, as you can see there, oriented. Charge! Oh my god.
Our first objective will be to break through the main gate.
Alright, well, you see there's a lot of fighting going on here. Oh, he can still do it. Oh my goodness. That looked like it hurt.
With the Stormbringer defeated, we've broken the curse and can unleash our power as the Demolisher breaches the gate, allowing our army to storm the fort.
Ah, so we gotta take the guy out in order to get into the fort. And I'm guessing maybe these are something like the Forge Towers. Once we've taken over a fort, we can use it as a fast travel point. Maybe that's how it works. Oh man, okay, I love that. Being able to shoot in midair. Was that a thing we could do before? I do not remember that. Maybe I just never tried it. Alright, so this is basically taking on what would be sort of something similar to like Far Cry, where you have to take over forts. I guess that's how it works. That is a very cool idea.
We've infiltrated a spy within the enemy ranks. Deadeye has placed explosives, allowing us to sabotage the wall and outflank the defenders.
Huh, that's pretty cool as well. So I guess we still are, to some degree, the Lone Ranger kind of thing. Literally, the Lone Ranger, actually.
Did you really think you could kill me that easy?
Well, apparently I did think that, but I was wrong.
The spy is also able to help clear the way by sniping enemies. In Shadow of Mordor, the Nemesis System created memorable stories of bloodshed and revenge. In Shadow of War, your followers can create entirely new stories of loyalty, betrayal, rivalry, and
That
even
is very
friendship.
cool. Very cool.
Gotcha.
Oh!
Thanks, Deadeye.
That was definitely a nice shot.
We've expanded the RPG systems in Shadow
So
of
you are
Mordor
definitely
enormously.
blurring the lines between good and evil
Defeating
here, I guess.
Stormbringer allows us to collect this epic armor of Rohan and equip it.
Wait, so you can change your armor as well? Huh.
Releasing and dominating the Drake lets us turn the Overlord's defenses against him.
Alright, I gotta say, being able to fly around and just blast people to smithereens sounds like it's gonna be a ton of fun. A ton of fun. Oh, man. Alright, very excited for that. Very excited for that.
We can face our ultimate nemesis in this fort, the Dragon Lord himself.
Confront the Overlord.
With the Nemesis System, every Overlord faced by every player will be unique to their world, and the throne room itself has been customized by the Overlord as his personal combat arena.
That's amazing. So they are basically randomized, and they're going to be different for everyone, which makes every playthrough unique. And I gotta say, I like that a lot.
You've made a right mess, haven't you? My army slain, my Drake dead. So much pain. Well, I know a thing or two about pain.
What kind of weapon is that?
Yours.
Is that like a rocket launcher?
Going to burn a hole into this world.
He's got a flamethrower? Okay. Alright, so I gotta say, some of the enemies are definitely a lot bigger
It's done.
and a lot more interesting than the Shadow of Mordor. That's gonna be something very cool. Environments look great as well. And he is down. Alright.
With the Overlord defeated, Fort Saragost and this region of Mordor are ours.
Alright, so we basically take over this area and it turns into probably
Conquering
like
the
what a
region
forge
rewards
tower
us
would
with
be.
Experience, loot, new followers, and resources. It
That's
also
very
creates
cool.
a personal base from which we train our forces, increase our power, and upgrade our defenses against Sauron's counterattacks.
Wow. So that really is
Let's
very
return
much
to
like
the
Far
army
Cry.
screen, where we can review our enemies and command our followers. We need to select one to become the new Overlord, so he can spread his influence throughout the region, creating an entirely original Nemesis
That
fortress.
is awesome.
The Nemesis System means that every element of this mission was dynamic and unique. No two players of the game will experience the same story.
That is really, really good. I'm glad to see that kind of randomized stuff coming because it means that you can play it at home and you can watch people play it on YouTube, and every playthrough will be unique. So you can watch multiple playthroughs, you can play it through yourself multiple times, and you'll have fun and you'll have a different experience every time. And again, I am willing to overlook some of the lore aspects just because it looks like such a fun game. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited as I am. If you have any comments or suggestions, you want to see more, let me know. And as it gets closer to release day, I will keep bringing you videos and keep bringing you updates. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more if you haven't already. Take care, guys, and have yourselves a great day.